Hello and welcome to the Unwritten Life, the Knitting Diaries, episode, potentially episode 18? I'm not really sure. I think so. So, it's been a while since last time, so things have been happening, which is very exciting. I'm not, in a way I'm done with something, in another way not fully done. Last Knitting Diaries, I was very excited that I was done with a cotton blanket that I'm going to use in the summer. And now I would say I'm pretty much done. I just need to block it, but I'm pretty much done with something that is for winter actually. So, it's technically still winter. It's beautiful sun outside. I was outside earlier today in my wool sweater, no jacket, but taking the snow off my car, and it was so nice. It's like ridiculously nice. And we're only mid-February, so okay, I can live with that. But this project, or this item that I've kind of finished that I just need to block, I used this yarn. And it's always exciting. Do you get to see the thingy around the yarn? Never quite know what to call these things. It's the thingy that goes around the ball of yarn. And it was a lot of back and forth with this project. I'm gonna show you. I don't know how well I can show all of it because camera and all. It's a sweater, and I haven't blocked it, which is why I'm saying it's not fully done. I haven't blocked it, so I can only touch it with my hands, not like cozy up to it, because it's 100% wool. And to me, generally, wool yarn itches. My hands can take just about anything, but the rest of me, not so much. But this, I do believe I had started, because I knitted this bottom up. And I do believe I had started in my last Knitting Diaries with the ribbing in the bottom of the body. And I used a pattern. The yarn is not what the pattern calls for, so basically I would just keep my fingers crossed and hoping it will be okay. That's how I do a lot of my knitting. I just keep my fingers crossed and hope it works out. But I was like, oh no, this looks too small. I'm gonna try the bigger size. And then when I had gotten a little further on the ribbing, I started to stretch it out and I was like, oh holy shit, it's really stretchy. I can't have it that big. So I went back to the first size. And then I knitted the body and that went fine. And then I started knitting the first arm. And then I was increasing, because I started with the ribbing here too, and then I started increasing how the pattern called for. But the thing is, by the time I got to the length of the arm, I still wasn't done with increasing. So I didn't have enough stitches by the end. And I was also a little tighter than comfortable. So I put arm number 1 aside. And then I started knitting arm number 2. And instead of doing the exact same, because I knew I wouldn't get enough stitches, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of an adjustment, which I haven't done the most of. I'm not that used to knitting out of a pattern, and there are a lot of things I don't know about knitting, but I decided to, instead of wait with increases until I had knitted 2 centimeters, I started with the increases immediately, and then I did the increases a lot, not a lot closer, but closer than what the pattern called for. So I was done with the increases. Let's see if I can figure it out. I was done with the increases. Okay, this is the arm. This is where it's connected to the body. I was done with the increases about here when I did it kind of sooner, I guess, closer together than what the pattern called for, and then I just knitted until it was long enough, and I was like, okay, cool, that works. And then I tried to try it on, but you know, I don't want to risk losing stitches, so like trying it on outside everything with the needle in, and yeah, it went okay. So I ripped out arm number 1, and I made sure that I had made arm 1 and 2 at the same, not at the same, but made them the same. And then I put it all together. I did raglan decreases all the way, and then I sewed all the no, I wove in all the ends, and I figured out how to, because this ribbing at the neckline, you make it like longer, and then you fold it down, and then you sew it in. And I'm not the best at sewing, but I feel like I did a pretty good job this time. So I'm very happy. And when I was done with all of that, you know, putting down this and sewing it together and weaving in all the ends, sewing together underneath the arms, like when I've done everything, that is when I tried it on. Was that a good idea? Well, it's a good idea to try it on. Probably should have tried it on a little sooner. And to put it like this, I kind of hope, I mean, I think it's superwash. Yes, it's superwash. And I'm pretty sure the brown that I'm wearing that I've also knitted, I think that one is superwash, and it did stretch out a little. So I'm really hoping. And yeah, this is when you don't knit like a, oh, what's the little things a lot of people knit to see if they get gauge? I don't knit those. I've never done that, so I didn't do it this time either. A part of me is like, I should probably start doing that. And then the realistic part of me is like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Probably ever. So, it's a little snug. I'm hoping it will stretch out a little when I block it. Both, I do believe, because it is a very thick, okay, it's not a very thick yarn, but it's thicker yarn than what I have in my other sweaters. Like, this sweater is a lot thinner than this one. But I'm hoping it will stretch both a little in the length, but also it needs to stretch a little bit in the width. So, yeah. Can you keep your fingers crossed for me so that when I block it, it does stretch a little bit? It doesn't have to stretch a ton, but a little bit would have been nice. Trying it on before I finish off everything probably also would have been nice. Would I have changed anything if I had? Honestly, probably not. But yeah, I finished the sweater. I need to block it, and if I remember in my next Knitting Diaries, I can show it off after it's blocked. I don't know if I'll get to block it today or anything, but it's bright green. Yes, I'm filming in daylight, so I really hope the color shows off properly. I really do. So, yeah. I finished the sweater. I just need to block it, and then it's ready for use. And since we're still in winter, it might actually happen. It might happen. And, oh, I wanted to say, I showed you the yarn, but I used the needle 3.5 and 4. I used 3.5 millimeter needles for the ribbing, all the ribbing, and then 4 millimeter needles for the rest of it. And I spent from January 24th till February 14th, so that's 14 plus 22 days. I finished a sweater in 22 days. And I would just need to block it. That is sort of exciting. Or at least I found it really exciting. And then, when I finished that, and I was like, okay, I want something a little bit smaller. and I had this yarn that I used for the cotton blanket that I finished last Knitting Diaries. I had this yarn, and I was thinking, someone suggested I make a pillow, and I kind of quickly realized that buying a pillow, first of all, I didn't really need a pillow, though I like the idea, but buying a pillow would be like, whoa, they, like, even the cheap ones are, and also the sizing, I wasn't crazy about the sizing of the pillows that I found, so didn't buy a pillow. So I was thinking, well, I could do something similar to the blanket, and also since it's cotton, I can just whip up a crochet little towel. Yeah, I know I said a little towel, but this is too little to be called a little towel. It's 35 times 30 centimeters, so no. I just wanted to show it off because I really like the color changes. In the blanket I also had blue, and I did have leftovers of that too, but I wanted even simpler for a little towel. And I did the up and down, basically, that report. I made that one tiny bit smaller than the blanket because smaller item, smaller thing, and I only had 2 rows of each, but it's too small. I'm gonna rip it out and try to come up with some other idea, but I will say I love those 2 colors next to each other, and when they're so like, because the cotton blanket, the blanket that I made, had many rows. I think it was 8 rows of each color. So with this one, with just 2 rows of each color, gives off a whole different feeling. And I do love it, but it's not enough. And it wouldn't have been enough to make it the size I would want even with the blue color, so I gotta come up with something else. Don't know what that would be yet, but this is gonna get ripped out. Poor little thing. More like poor me. I mean, I did spend several days doing that. But I wanted to show you before I ripped it out, so, because, you know, that's what we do here. We talk about knitting and crochet, or at least that's what I do. So I wasn't quite sure what to do next. I had several things I could do, and I just plucked one of them that the balls of yarn were lying in a place I didn't really like them to be, so I wanted to use them up so I could store it somehow in a different way. Wow, that sentence got weird. But, are you still filming? Hold on. So, I started something new last night. Last night? Yeah. Last night I started something new, and I'm using, yet again, yarn from Drops. Apparently, that's the thing of mine. I showed you this yarn when I showed you the yarn that I used for the cotton blanket, because I bought them at the same place. And I'm gonna make myself another butt warmer, also known as wool shorts. I printed it out on paper. I don't know how well it comes off on screen. It's the winter warmer. It's a wool shorts. I call it a butt warmer because that's what it do. It warms my butt. And I have one. The one I have is in like a medium gray. And this one is a dark gray. And it's knitted from top to down. It starts around the belly and then you do the legs last. So this is all I got so far. And hair. My hair is everywhere. But yeah, I have not gotten very far. I looked at it, it's like, oh my god, I am not that tiny. But it stretches out a lot. So this is the start of it. I'm so excited. And I mean, I have used the butt warmer that I knitted, I haven't blocked it. I probably should have blocked it before I started making another one. But blocking things, yeah, it takes time, you know. I'm not that crazy about it. I need to. I don't need to be crazy about it, but I need to, you know, just do the thing. But yeah, so I haven't blocked the other one, but I have used it quite a bit. So that's very exciting. I'm loving it more and more. So yeah, I started another butt warmer or wool shorts. It's so much more fun to say butt warmer, so I'm just gonna keep it at that. I've started myself another butt warmer. Will I finish that before winter is over? Probably, because I think I remember them being pretty quick to do. Sweater takes a lot more time, but yeah. I'm not even gonna bother showing the crochet little thing that I'm gonna rip out anyway, but yeah, this is what I did. I'm very excited about my sweater. I love the color. I wish I could hug it, but it's wool, so, which is why I'm gonna be wearing shirts under the wool, so I don't itch myself to death. Or maybe scratch myself to death. Either way, I'd find it itchy, so I always wear something that is between me and the wool. Luckily, I can still knit with wool because my hands don't care. So that was it. I don't think this episode was very long because I haven't done much. I've done much because knitting a sweater takes a lot of time. And I've decided that next time I knit a sweater, I will knit it top down so I don't have to sew anything together, just weaving ends. Just need to find a pattern. If you have a pattern suggestion, preferably a free one because still no job, still living with my parents, still haven't found a house and all that. But if you have like the most simple sweater pattern, preferably for free, that goes top down, can you tell me please down in the comment section? I would really appreciate that. Then I also at some point need to get yarn for another sweater, but let's be honest, it's not very likely it's gonna happen immediately. And either way, I need to finish my butt warmer first, so yeah. I hope you have enjoyed this little chat about my knitting, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!